Hello, everyone in the five continents, and welcome to another edition of our International English Online Meetings. This morning we have six ladies from Argentina: Maria del Valle, Carolina, Micaela, Gisela, Brisa, Abril, Mait, and our good friend Marina Gonzalez. Thank you so much to everyone for giving us part of your time on a Sunday morning. And as usual, please, just a minute, let me share my screen. Okay, here it is. Okay, today is March 15th. No, it's April 19th. I forgot to change the date. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, so this is our 145th webinar. If you want to watch the past webinars, you can watch them in our YouTube channel. If you want to watch it in Facebook, you can watch it in my Facebook account. I love this quote, dear Rana. Could you please read it out for us, please?
Yes, sure. So it says it's by Marian Wright Adman, and it says education is for improving the lives of others and for leaving your community and world better than you found it. Brilliant. So
Yes,
interesting. So
right.
interesting. And I
And I
think
guess that's what we are doing, right?
exactly, I think leaving the world for the future generation in a better place.
Mhm.
And I think this is what the role of education we are doing here. Thank you to Jaime, who is collecting us all and trying to give us a chance to share.
You,
And
you
I
are, you
think,
are
yeah,
the
that's what we are
flowers of
doing.
my garden. I'm collecting
Y-
you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you
No,
so much
thank
for
you,
that.
dear Rana. Well, another one, dear Irma, Ilka.
Of course, this is by Herbert Spencer and says, the great aim of education is not knowledge, but action. So true. We
Right.
cannot stay still when we see something as
We,
teachers and
yes,
we want to include in our teaching,
yes, and
in
move
our
forward.
students, a change. Yes.
Right, and move
Great
forward.
quote.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. Who are our guest speakers this semester? Well, in May, we will have Paola Aguilar from Colombia. She will be talking to us about connecting classrooms globally. Then in June, Beatriz Erazo from Bolivia, she will talk to us about grammaring to contextualize EFL material. And in July, 2 days after my birthday, Oderay Quijada will be talking from Panama. We'll be talking about from page to classroom, using classic literature to foster intercultural competence. Well, and who are our guest speakers today? Marina Gonzalez and Maria del Valle Yuri, Micaela Ciarlantini, Gisela Taborda, Carolina Gonzalez, and Brisa Brusaferi. Well, a little bit about Marina. Marina is director of the undergraduate program in English language teaching and UNPAZ, and an advisor to the innovation agency of Tierra del Fuego. She also serves as editor-in-chief for the Argentinian Journal of Applied Linguistics. Her work focuses on teacher education, curriculum design, and language program management in higher education. Her research is grounded in a complex system perspective, exploring foreign language policy, English language teaching for older adults, and key issues in language pedagogy. Finally, she has presented internationally and contributed to materials development and academic initiatives across diverse educational contexts. Thank you, dear Marina. We also have today Brisa. Let me read. Brisa Brusaferri is a graduate teacher from UNPAZ TEFL education program. She was involved with EFA, English for Action, last year. She has also developed a proposal regarding inclusive education, autistic spectrum. Wow, that's beautiful, in English in diverse contexts. As you know, my grandson, he has autism. Thank you so much for that. Also, Carolina Gonzalez Guzman is a professor in the undergraduate program in English language teaching at UNPAZ and a member of its coordination team. She previously served as project director of a research project on the preparatory cycle of English (CPI), involving teachers and students and as researchers in training. She's currently coordinating a second project on student trajectories and equity in the CPI, also promoting student involvement in research. She has taught a course on foreign language research where student teachers engage in exploratory action research. She holds an MA and PhD in linguistics from Purdue University. Then we have Maria del Valle Yuri. She's a teacher at UNPAZ. She's in charge of the undergraduate practicum 1 with a team of teacher educators which she supervises. She also teaches English diverse context and innovative proposal. Parallel to her work at university, she is a school supervisor in San Miguel province of Buenos Aires. And then we have Gisela Denise Taborda, is a student teacher at UNPAZ TEFL education program. She's in her third year of studies. She has been involved in projects at the University of Quilmes. She participated as a speaker in the Lengua, Cultura e Identidad conference, and she's currently part of the preparatory cycle of English CPI research group. Uh, she's also interested in the areas of phonology and oracy as well as material design. And last but not least, Micaela Sciarlantini is a fourth year student in teacher in the TEFL education program at UNPAZ. She has participated in the English for Action project developed within the subject English in diverse contexts and serves as a teaching assistant for prácticas discursivas de la oralidad 1. She has been working as an English teacher since the age of 19. Her creative writing piece, Quilcac, the writer was presented at FAAPI 25. I guess that's all, right? So, dear Marina, Maria del Valle, Carolina, Micaela, Gisela, Brisa, and Abril, the screen is all yours and you may start your presentation. Thank you so much once again.
Thanks a lot for welcoming us, Jaime. Hello,
We can
everyone.
hear you well, dear.
You can't? Okay,
Uh,
I had to. Okay, I will change, but
yeah, now it's
probably.
okay. Now it's okay.
Okay. All right. Okay, no, because since we are at home, generally dogs bark, and I didn't want them to take part. We are uh, enough of a team here to include my dogs. But I want to start by apologizing because we forgot we didn't include two very important people also in this collective being that we want to share today, and these are my greetings to our dear Mary. But it's Emmanuel and Abril, okay, are also part of this presentation. Um, Opening part of what we also work at our university, which is what I'm going to try and explain. That is also the connection with older adults and with French. Okay. So the idea for today is the following. I would like to give you a general framework of what the our university is, what the teacher education program is, and how it has developed areas in for what you said in the previous quotes about education being action. When you are in charge of a teacher education program, you are responsible for action, for changing things, for not continuing things the way they were or how they have been, but just rethinking and reshaping and offering new opportunities for things to do to be done. Okay, I mean that you mentioned in our previous chat, Jaime, the fact that it is generally understood that children who attend private schools learn English, and students who attend public schools do not, and that is not, it should not humanitarianly, in terms of humanity, this is not a given truth, but it's a practice that has
Yeah.
been known for
Mm.
so long. And we are a state open university, and our main responsibility is to take action to change those things. That is why I was so proud to hear Abril saying that she has always studied at a public school. And of course, we prepare people for all walks of life, for all situations. But Argentina has a very strong tradition of state-run education. All right, I know and I respect the varieties in different countries and tendencies, but this has not been ours, and we want to honor our tradition of public education. So this is what we want to share with you, how it works in our country. Mm. Um, so our teacher education, our university is a very is a new university. It's becoming 16 years, I mean, of age this year. It's one of the what are called universities of the bicentennial, and these university cities are around 10 universities that were created during the government of Cristina Fernández de Kirchner. And it's an important movement in terms of the traditional, of the fact that traditional, big, famous, wonderful universities that we have in Argentina, like the University of Buenos Aires, which is world known, etc., are centralized, and people had to travel a lot, and it meant that many people could not have access to higher education because of distance, costs, etc. So this movement created a number of universities towards the territory. That's why we are not, I live in Capital Federal, but I work 35 kilometers away from my town, okay? That is, and we are a number, it's Universidad Nacional José Paz, Universidad Arturo Jauretche. You can help me, guys, but Universidad Nacional de General Sarmiento, Universidad Nacional de Hurlingham, and others more, which are located mostly in the province of Buenos Aires. Okay, Argentina is a very, very big country, and 40% of its population are located between the Capital Federal or Ciudad Autónoma de Buenos Aires and the province of Buenos Aires. Okay, so this is the setting. Okay, this university, it's really young, and in 2018 we started. Claudio is not here, but Caro is one of the first people who joined our team. We opened the language school at the university, okay? Similar to what you have in Piura, in your university in Piura, Jaime, all
Yeah.
right? And this is something that is quite traditional in universities in Latin America, the fact that we have a language center that also is not necessarily related. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not related to the core production of the university. That is, you don't have a degree, all right? You have a language center offering courses for students, for the community in general, etc. Okay, and it's in those settings. Sometimes research is possible, but many times it's quite limited. So when the pandemic struck, 2020, there was a new idea, an invitation from the university president to design an English teacher education program, because it had been studied that there was a need for something of this sort in our region. So we started designing this, and Caro worked with me, doing the drafts and thinking about everything and how it was going to take place. And in 2021, we started 2021, and Mika and Gise, right, and Bri are part of the first cohort. Mm?
Yes, I mean,
So and Abril as well. Okay, all right. So they are part of the first group of students who joined in, and obviously the study was correct because the first year we had 600 students enrolling. Okay, and since then we've had an average of 350, 400 students enrolling every year, which is like, in general terms, and with what all those of us who know what a university is, we have like a full teacher education program entering per year. Okay, we are having around 1,000 students studying right now, so it's a very large project. And it's not that I'm giving numbers to brag, because those of you who know me, and there are many here, know that that's not my style. What I'm giving is data. All
Mm.
right, I'm giving you data to analyze, all right, or to uh, put things in context. So what happens is that since we have a large number of class, I mean, a variety of classes and a large number of students, we have the possibility of opening projects, all right, and of having teachers. It's something that is quite common in many teacher education programs, is that there's one teacher for one subject, all right, and here we have teams of 6 or 7 teachers teaching the same subject, and that allows for team building, for analysis. I mean, here I can see Giselle Laurent and Annabella Sauer, who are part of our team. All right. Giselle was Mika's teacher, and she's the one who took her beautiful tiny small book to Fabi to present it to the audience. Okay, and Annabella has develops an amazing project. I would suggest that you invite her someday, because she has an extension project in La Plata, all right, with teaching creativity and literature to children. Uh, and the work that her team do is absolutely amazing. Mhm. And it's something that I've always been wanting to bring to university. I don't know if we will be able to, but well, this is a general setting, so of course it's we get to work with people who are like-minded, right? So all the people here are crazy enough to be extremely enthusiastic, wanting to do new things, covering. So what we are going to cover today, and we have more, but we had to select, uh, are first, a foundational project, which is the project that led by Caro, that is the CPI. What do we mean by that? In general, English language, EFL education programs have an entry test, right? And they generally leave a number of people out because they don't have the required level of English. As a language policy, as an educational policy, our university decided to not follow that tradition. What we do is we change the entry test into a diagnosis series of activities, and we accept all those people who enroll, and we assign them to different trajectories for their course of studies. That means that we may have people who only have English from their secondary school, which is a mandatory level in the province of Buenos Aires, that should be near and between A1 and A2. and they are assigned to a full year of intensive language learning. Or they may be between A2, B1, and they are assigned to another trajectory of the CPI, where they reinforce the language that they have, so that we make sure that entry level of English is B1 to work in what we know the traditional areas of phonology, written practices, all right, literature, etc., which we call prácticas discursivas, okay, because we follow the pragmatic vision of learning. So why is the CPI so important? Because Caro is an expert in numbers, and we have checked, and we can assure that 60% of our students wouldn't have been able to join our teacher education program if we hadn't considered the CPI. All right. Well, I'm sorry, it's not 60, it's 70%. All right. We would have had only 30% of our students, which was the comfortable thing. But universities need to face and need to respond to what the territory and what the society demands from them. So we created the CPI, and after a number of years of keeping data, etc., Caro presented a research project where she works together with many other teachers and with students like Gise that they're going to expand on later, okay? Then the other project that we included is the one that we crazily do with Maria del Valle in English in diverse contexts. This is a subject that we teach together as a fourth year subject, and what we do is to think outside the box. All right, that is, we always prepare teachers to teach in schools. But what happens with any other situation, and what happens with non-governmental organizations, all right, and that offer assistance to refugees, all right, on many other situations, or practices that have been always been marked by this experience in Africa about teaching through radio. And this is something that has not been so well developed. And I remember a project I was an advisor for many years ago for the armed was it for the military in Colombia, all right, who wanted to develop something for the military forces when they were in the jungle being trained, and to avoid them leaving, all right. And so they developed a full process of education, for example. Okay, so these are things that we don't teach in didactics. So we decided to open up new scenarios, new possibilities. Okay, and that's why Mika and Brisa took part in a project that really went bad, and that's what I think that is worth sharing. That is, we generally tend to talk individually and about success. And part of what I want to share here is what we do collectively, and also the things that don't go well, because we learn a lot from those things, because they are the ones that help us improve, redefine, rethink. And I think that that's what mostly research and action consist of. So that's why Mika and Brisa mentioned the idea, the concept of, they took part in the English for Action project. That is, English for Action is a non-governmental organization in the south, in London, that supports immigrants, okay, in terms of their citizenship, okay, as immigrants. And part of that is language. Probably, Rana, you may have some contact or may have heard of UEFA. Okay, well, that was one thing that we thought we could help from here. And the other thing is, the last one is this one by Emanuel and Abril, all right, that are related to the fact that we as a country and universities in Argentina support the idea of plurilingualism, and I'm going to stick with the term plurilingual and not multilingual because of the change in perspective. This is also something very important. We may hear a lot of people from central countries talking about multilingualism as something very nice, but we stand by plurilingualism because the status of each language in plurilingualism is different from that in multilingualism. All right, multilingualism supports one language, one main language over the others. It recognizes the others, but it does not give them the same ground or the same status, whereas plurilingualism does. And that's where we stand. This is our national educational policy until this president changes it. But so far we will, and even after, we will continue. What happens is that we included, it's not only that we included French in the EFL English training program, but we also, because they have one subject, one term, but we also defined an intensification project, okay, that covers 6 levels, right? Or is it 5?
6
right.
levels.
Six levels of French parallel to their EFL education program, so that by the time that students graduate, they have a B1 level in French as well, which will allow them to pursue further studies, and that's our part of our plans, as a certification of teaching in a second/third language as well. Okay, so Emma is in charge of that. Abril is part of this project, and she has presented on her experience in this project in some conferences, and she has always also been part of the UPAMI project, which is something that I've been writing about, and I have stopped now. That is the idea of older adult learning. Okay, we have a book coming out this year. We will let you know. It should be. It's how we how to say the idea of the virtuous circle. All right, this idea of having students getting prepared to be future teachers, and how they may have part of the experiences that are not school related directly. They can have those experiences by joining internal projects of the university, like this one of older adults. All right. So I think that the menu is quite varied, right? We are going to not to listen to one person on one thing, but many experiences that are possible if there is a decision, a political decision, all right? And I can say that it's political in terms of educational policy, and not necessarily related to money, okay? Mostly in this moment in which Argentine universities are experiencing one of the worst moments that we have had in the last 23 years, okay? The government has to pay us for something that the law establishes, and it is refusing to do so. So most teachers at university are really having trouble, and a lot of resignations have been presented in all universities throughout the country. So what we say is that we live between the world and Narnia. All right. So, does everybody understand what I mean by Narnia? Narnia is this uh, imaginary world, okay, from the movies. I don't remember which one. Okay, so, but it's the idea of reality and fantasy. Fantasy for us is not fantasy, but it's the world of ideas. And this is what allows us and what makes us stronger. And that is something that nobody can take away from us. And this is where we stand. Okay. But in the meantime, we try to pay our bills. So without taking more of your time, I hope that I have given you a general idea of what we do. I would like probably to get started with Caro so that you briefly summarize what the CPI project, research project is.
Okay. Okay. So hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. Okay. So our project, we presented this project 2 years ago with the idea of making like a diagnosis of the preparatory cycle because it was very new. As Marina said, our program is very new. So we wanted to check if it was working. So it was just like a diagnosis to see how many people took the cycle, how many people finished it, how many people dropped out, why they dropped out. And we had, Marina explained that we had like two trajectories on the CPI. So what were the differences between those two? And our team was very big. We had like 8 professors working on that team and 8 students. All the students were already finished the CPI and they were from both trajectories. So I think it's very important that we have students that experienced the CPI. They went through all the process. So we have like insight from them, right? And then last year we presented the second project, which is analyzing the trajectories of those students who finished the CPI and are now in the program. So we wanted to check if they were successfully like advancing in the program. So for example, Gisela, who's here with us, she's one of our successful students, right? Now she's in 3rd year, right? Gisela, third year. So it's a successful experience, right? That was like very short description, but I don't know if that's okay or if you.
Yeah, that's fine. So that we just give a glimpse and then we start asking our ladies here. Okay. Perfect. So Emma, would you like to explain? All right. Vous voulez? Je ne peux pas.
Good morning, everyone. Bonjour à toutes et à tous. I'm Emmanuel. I'm the French teacher in the English Training College at university. So sorry for my English. And I'm going to try to explain this academic project called Intensification French Program. The main objective is to consolidate student proficiency in French as an additional language while promoting a plurilingual approach to language education. I'm going to explain that in Argentina and in many parts of the world, access to foreign language learning has often been unequal. Historically, many languages has been linked to the elite education. So this program challenged that tradition. So by offering now this intensive French program within a public university and free of charge, it's refrain language learning a right, not a privilege. The particular interest in this program, this is not the structure, but the pedagogical approach, because traditionally, foreign language teaching in many Argentina universities was focused mainly on reading comprehension. This program takes a different path because It emphasizes the development of students as active, competent bilingual speakers, capable of speaking, writing, understanding, and producing discourse in the target language. So in addition of that, it integrates metalinguistic and metacognitive reflection, helping the future teacher understanding how languages are learned and how they can be taught effectively. So the program is organized in two main stages. An initial stage composed of 3 levels, where students develop basic communication skills, and an intermediate stage, also with 3 levels, where they achieve greater autonomy and aim to reach a B1 level according to the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages. I have a note here because trying to think in French and English is not easy. So from this perspective, the intensive French program does more than teach a language. It creates opportunities. It sounds like marketing, but it is not like that. For example, a student who completes the program may apply for a scholarship or academic exchange offered by institutions such as the French Embassy or international organization. In that context, one of the students here, Avril, might work as a teaching assistant in a for a French class for all their students. She collaborates, for example, with the lead teacher to design interactive material adapted to the group. And she also supports the student with the technological aspects of the virtual classes. So that's something like that, what we do in this program. And so sorry for my English speaking.
Oh no, you rocked it. We are so proud of you.
Perfect,
I mean,
perfect.
I have some
fantastic.
notes here with me just to organize the ideas.
Because you prepared well. That's fantastic. And you forgot to say something, that you again earned the support of the French Embassy for a second project to support French learning. I mean, last year you got support from the embassy to train or to update knowledge from from French teachers. And this year we are going to be able to open, and this for advanced students in the French program like Avril, they will be able to support students from other teacher education programs that we have at university, like sports science and special education. We will have the financial support to offer one course of initial French for all of them. Okay.
Yeah.
So Emma, congrats. Okay. So last but not least, Bashe, to explain the crazy world of English in diverse contexts, a subject that we created. Okay, it's new, so that's why.
Yes, thanks everybody to have joined us. Well, in our classes, Marina, our future colleagues and I explore a range of educational settings that emerge in response to specific social and professional needs. So it's very different to think about the content in those scenarios, which are very different from formal education. So we also want to explore non-governmental organizations, for example, the ones that Marina mentioned, English for Actions, London. She explained very well what that organization focus on. And last year, our students were expected to work with the participants from EFA. They have to get in touch with the students in London, and they have to support them in their English classes. Well, as Marina mentioned, this was unfortunately one of our things. Well, it didn't go as well. I think Brisa was the ones that could get in touch with one student, but just with they had 1 or 2 interactions, no more than that. So now we have to evaluate why that project didn't go well. But on the other hand, Brisa and Mika could develop beautiful proposals that they are going to share with us. And don't be anxious, just in a bit moments, they are going to tell us what were these proposals about. So that's it. That's all about English in diverse context.
Okay, so I think that we have enough of details so as to get started with our student teacher participants. Okay, our other half, the ones without whom we would not exist. So shall we start with Abril? Okay, Abril, could you tell us a little bit? The idea is to ask you a few questions. All right.
Okay.
But basically, in terms of how long you've been as part of a project, okay, and your first memories of it, okay. Please go
Okay.
ahead.
I participated this project in the second semester in the 2024 to to learn away. And this is in my case, is my first experience like teacher. Maybe this program helped to interact with the public after no, before to include into the schools. So maybe this is a good experience.
Okay, and what did you specifically do in terms of supporting the teacher at UPAMI? Okay,
Uh, my responsibilities include correcting activities and taking attendance. And in some cases, the teacher gives me the opportunity to teach a part of the class. So in this part, I use all of my imagination and create games, activities. One of the classes decided to include a little dialogue in French and pass the hour of the class because the students are very engaged with this type of activities and participate. 1 or 2.
Okay, thank you. Let's move on to GC. Gise, could you tell us a little bit about your participation in your case, Abril's experience is within an extension project at university. In your case, it's you did take part, didn't you, in the Laboratorio Móvil with Claudio? Didn't you take part in that one? No.
No.
That was okay. So you are basically in a research project. Okay,
Yes.
so which is a different thing. Could you tell us a bit about your role there, what you do?
Okay.
Nowadays I am unfortunately I am a member of a CTI research group, and I have been part of this project for 2 years. And this year we present this continuation. Fortunately, I will participating again in this year, and I am really grateful about this. Thanks, Carol. And okay, the work on this project has been essential because as our research and meetings focus on an extensive search for bibliographic information, specifically related to CBI. On a personal note, I never imagined will be able to participate in the types of the projects and conference, in that case, that the university offers. This is the first time I have participated in a research project, and I am really excited to be part about this by the university. Providing these opportunities for students, teachers is incredibly helpful, as it provides us to the tools. In some case, teachers in incredible. The tool is necessary for our ongoing and professional development teachers. Tools that we can directly implement in our classrooms. In my case, I have the opportunity to work at a bilingual school, thanks not only my experience, but also the research project I'm carry out alongside my professors.
So did they consider your participation in the research project when they hired you? Did they ask you about that?
Yes. Yes,
Wow.
it's really, really.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I believe in my case, I believe being teachers carry a great responsibility. We serve as a guides for students both inside and outside the classroom. So the truth is that being an English teacher has completely changed my life and has provided me with countless opportunity that I took forward to continue to explore.
Thank you, Shishi. You make me cry all the time. Bri, can you tell us a little bit about your experience? Okay, you had two different things. The UEFA, but you also have your project, okay? The project that you presented the day you graduated.
The day that I cried.
And you cried, and we all cried because Jaimito, similar to your case, I mean, Brisa has autism in her family, so it's something dear to her, and it really shows. And this is something that whenever we talk about teaching and learning from who we are and what we are and what we do, and how much stronger those actions are. I think that they showed so much in Brisa's case. But would you like to tell us a little bit about any of them?
Well, in fact, I started teaching English in a primary school, and there I had some students with autism, and well, my sister. So I wanted like to create something to include them in the class, or like I wanted them to be engaged with English in different ways. And well, so I inspired my sister. We read stories every night with my mom too. So I wanted to create something related to that. So I created a course, an A1 course that it's related to literature. The idea is for to read with them and to explore with them different stories. In fact, I selected three when I created this project that were one related to Cecilia Grierson and then Martin Fierro. So the idea was to create those materials um, in order for them to read them and to have like pictograms and different resources and like for the stories for them to be meaningful, like also with like audios and different tools. And the idea was for them to also have visual support, like whenever they are reading the story, they know that they have to repeat the word or like they engage with the language because of the visual elements in that. And well, I had to do some research related to it to create those activities and to engage in the project. In fact, I used the ones that I created in the place that I worked, that it's a primary school, with my students, and I continue using this not only for autistic students but also like for my students, like in the common class, for everyone to be engaged and involved, and for them to also like be included in the class and not like have a different activity, but we all do have the same activity, and like they they are connected with the stories because they feel that it is meaningful to them.
So basically, the key issue here is including into writing, into reading, the idea of pictograms, which is something that we do not generally use in AFL teaching, all right, and the idea of the connection with supporting the idea of connection of listening and reading, right, and the importance of images so that things are not overwhelming to autistic students, right?
And the repetition of certain phrases throughout like the book.
Okay.
For example, once upon a time, like when you repeated that phrase, or like I don't know, like adjectives related to the character that you're talking about. So whenever they see the picture, they not only repeat the name of the character, but also like the adjectives that come before it.
You're building language through that through that combination. Okay, thank you, Bri. Can we move on to Mika? Okay. Mika, could you please tell us a little bit about your project in diverse contexts, and then you are both going to tell us briefly the idea of what happened with EFA, okay? Or big failure with EFA.
Mhm.
Well, then we will talk about that, but we have some perspectives about it. Well, in my case, what I was thinking about is how we can mixture a little bit of English, and in this idea of diverse context that we teachers can work. Well, how can English be used in different contexts? In this case, I created like an immersion day. The idea was to mix a little bit of pleasure and English. So what I propose is a fully day immersion in a estancia here in Buenos Aires, when people with a certain level of English, adult people, right, that want to escape from their daily routine, come and practice a little bit of English, and in a different context and from a different perspective, right? They are not using English because they are forced to do it. It's because they want to enjoy of this opportunity and exchange with different people. Can be related with people who works in office, people who are, well, teachers, why not, that want to use the language in a different way. So the idea was to create these different spaces. They will have yoga classes, they will have activities related with mindfulness and all those
So
kind of activities. Yeah,
sorry. So that it because
yeah.
we make out clearly the identifying line of your proposal was a day out related using English related to yoga and mindfulness, right? That was your
Yes,
guiding line. Okay.
yes. And well, at the end of the day, basically, based on the activities that they have done,
It will take a final reflection about the experience, how they encounter with the language in different ways, how they learn how to use different phrases, for example, from yoga or from mindfulness, or how to write a reflection diary. I think it was something that, in my case, and when we were thinking about the proposals, or when you propose, Marina, how we can try to bring to life this kind of experience, I was thinking about what we need also, well, as in our busy and daily lives, but to connect in a different way. So basically, that was the idea.
Okay, thank you very much. So now, just to round off, could you, Bri and Mika, could you explain what we tried to do with English for Action London and the problems that we encountered? Hmm?
Well, the idea
Ah,
was to help Latin American people to like with their English because they were living in London. And the idea was for them, for us to help them not only to learn English or to help them with some activities or something that they wanted help with, but also to like make them feel a sense of connection with us, or like accomplishment with the language, and not like frustrated. So that's why we used a WhatsApp group, and we organized between all the students that attended the lesson a message, and the message was not only in English but also in Spanish. Even though we're like in classes where we're told like not to speak Spanish, but this time it was different because we wanted them to understand that we were there to help, and not to like only to help them, yes. And well, first we started with the first messages through WhatsApp, but some of them didn't answer. Well, Mika, do you want to tell your experience first?
yes. Well, as Lisa was saying, the idea was totally like send a message, outreach to them. This idea of maybe try to start asking like, I don't know, we start asking what's the weather like? How,
Mm.
what are you doing? Try to connect in a different way so they don't feel like, oh, we want to teach you English. No, we are here just to assist in whatever you need. So that first idea was it, and we send those messages. And communication in this case, we knew that through WhatsApp, it's basically we are adapting to their different, well, we have different time schedules, so we understand these people are caregivers. They are a part of a community that basically it's in charge of their families. So we knew about that at the beginning. So we waited. I mean, it was, as Marina was saying, kind of a failure because we didn't receive the messages that we are expecting. I mean, we wanted to help, but at the end, we understand that for most of them, or one message that we received at the end was, I want to answer to you whenever I have the time. So maybe we have this idea of students always like we ask and they answer, and this is that's something that we are trained for. We are expected that them we ask and they answer. They are in the class, they are with us. No, here there was a WhatsApp, a screen that connects us in certain part of the world, and we are expecting for them to answer. Well, we waited. I mean, the results weren't what we expected, but well, this gave us the opportunity to keep on working and keep trying new things. I mean, this was the first outreach that we have. I think that next time with this experience, we can make it better.
Thank you, Mika. I think that with this, we have presented you with a general idea, okay? And I think that it's, if you are fine with it, we could open questions for it to have a dialogue between participants and the group, okay? I know that Reina uh, raised his hand, so.
Yeah, of course, dear Marina. Rana, go on, please.
Uh, Thank you. Thank you for all this detailed project which you just explained. Of course, I am not representing English for Action, but I just want to ask a couple of things. This is what we related to, and then of course I would talk about the project a bit later because I just made some notes about it. So, I mean, I do understand it that you were trying to trying to make a bridge between the Argentinian groups and the students in the UK who are English speaking students and mostly from the refugees, like, or English with additional needs. Is it, am I understanding right about it?
Yeah, if I may, I mean, what we offered was the English for Action has groups from different origins, right? They are immigrants, they are not refugees
Mhm,
in
okay,
general.
okay,
And what we did was to offer extra support to the classes
okay,
for the Latin American immigrants.
okay,
Okay,
okay.
so they did have their classes at EFA, which are generally once a week, but all this comes from our observation. I mean, personally, I visited
Mhm,
English for Action classes, and we saw that they were quite challenging because it is an NGO which is not focused on English. So
mhm,
the
mhm,
people who
mhm,
teach English are more from social work or something of the
mhm,
sort, which
mhm,
is extremely interesting. And they have
mhm,
multi-level classes, and
mhm,
their objective is English for citizenship. But you have uh, participants who have arrived 2 months ago, people who have been living in London for 3 years, etc. Some of them who are in their homes raising babies. So that's also, you have a class with moms feeding
mhm,
babies,
mhm,
children running around, etc. So
mhm,
maybe our first mistake, and probably was mine, is to think that offering support could help them, and maybe they didn't need it or they didn't want it in the way
mhm.
that we thought it could work.
Okay, so basically, I mean, what I like to address is probably you talked about, I mean, the program did not go well as you expected to go. Because where I teach, we have the similar program and we call it English for integration or English for life skills. You know, I mean, this is what we talk a lot about. I was the person who designed that course. You know, I mean, talking about English for integration and English for I mean, looking at my experience in safeguarding and well-being, I think one issue I could say probably because when we try to develop any interaction from the outside, we need to address lots of safeguarding policies. You know, I mean that's very important. Which mean students should understand, especially. I mean, making a WhatsApp group is yes, it's a very good tool to communicate, but at the same time, from a safeguarding perspective, it raises many questions and many limitations, you know, and that kind of thing. So I think probably next time if you try to address those safeguarding concerns more in detail, I think that would really work for the program, because we do have those programs as well, and especially the people who come from English as an additional language, and because my experience is working with refugees and all those things, you know what I mean. So we do understand it because they got lots of trauma taking with us, you know, and those kind of things. So the role of social workers, role of safeguarding policies, designated safeguarding leads, and well-being mentors, they become very much because they just want to protect them until unless they spend like few years and they just try to get comfortable in that environment. But before that, they are very much like they are. I mean, everybody is very concerned about them. So I think that could be one reason that might be looking from the safeguarding policies perspective next time. I think that would really help to make the program work. Number one. Number two is when we talk about the evaluation of the program, might be we need to look that what could have been the objectives of that program, because in UK we need to get lots of approval from the UK government as well. So making very clear objectives that, for example, I mean, looking at my perspective, when you say we want to support them, that's a very generic objective. You know, I mean, it might not get approved by the UK government and funding bodies. So probably we need to narrow it down that, okay, how we would like to support, what kind of people do you have? Are they trained in safeguarding? Do they have well-being experiences? Do they have traumatic experiences of working in those kind of things? And then we focus a lot on how you would evaluate the impact of that program. So for example, I say I developed a program, and that program we run, and that program was successful. So what we look for, that how do you measure that impact? For us, that's very important. So you need to make it very clear probably in your documentation that if you say the program would be successful or not successful, I mean, how do you evaluate that? So for example, here we are talking about the program was not successful. This is our assumption, but might be if we evaluate it, we come up with some different idea. Might be it was not a failure. I mean, might be it generated so many new avenues for us to work, which we can look more into detail. So I mean, these are just based upon my experience of working here, that how we run these kind of programs, and how do we run these programs in collaboration with the foreign universities and foreign donors and foreign, I mean, lots of agencies with that. Yeah. So this is just my comment about it. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks a lot. We are certainly going to contact you in the future to.
Yeah, I mean, if I could be of any help, I mean, in my personal capacity, yes, I would be very happy. I mean, I would be, because that's the whole purpose of all these platforms. And I'm again, thank you to Jaime, because that's how we get connected, and we try to help each other. I mean, those kind of things, and especially, I mean, English for diverse contact. It's mind blowing. I mean, it's a mind blowing idea for me. It's a new thing as well. I mean, because we talk about English for life skills, in English for integration, English for well-being purposes, all those things. I mean, so it would be very interesting to see that how English for diverse purposes will work, which would have some element of ESP, which will have some element of EAP as well. I mean, and then uh, the idea of access. I mean, access to life, access to nationality, access to education, that how that idea flourishes within those programs. So yeah, I mean, that would be very interesting. And yes, if I could be of any help, I mean, please give me a shout. I would really like to help with that. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks a lot. Wow, I love it. Just one tiny thing to round it a little bit more. The idea that is, I'm always rushing, and I always give things for granted. But when we say that it didn't work, and probably Bashe will support what we said, is that we think that we brought the idea to EFA after having participated in one face-to-face class of their own, and seeing that people wanted to practice some grammatical items or something of the sort, and seeing that the class that had been developed for a specific purpose, and it implied such a wide range of linguistic exponents that were impossible to be covered by the variety of participants in that. So what we thought and what we offered the people in EFA, and I think that this is one of the first flaws, that is, it was a lot of goodwill in our part, but they said okay, but it was not 50-50 engagement, right? It says okay, sure, it's going to be fine, and we had to wait quite a long time for our term. It was just in the middle of our term, so we lost like 2 months. We didn't have a stronger institutional support. So what we did is everything that we thought of, but there was no connection to improve it. And we sent in terms of safeguarding, we said, what can we offer? We can offer people outside their weekly meetings, if they want to practice something extra, because there were people said, I want to study simple present, or I want to do this. I said, well, maybe we can do that from afar. Okay, because if they said, I need extra practice on family, we could find a resource and send it to them through WhatsApp. That was the general idea. And we had a meeting. We recorded a video with all the participants, with teachers and student teachers who were going to take part in the groups, and we sent them a video welcoming them. And then they shared, we created a WhatsApp group, and we gave their teacher the link for them to be invited and to join if they wanted. Nevertheless, what you mentioned, and we avoided the case of refugees because we didn't have the necessary training to face that kind of situation. We had explored previously the group of ELT for Palestine. We had explored how it worked, but it was undergoing areas, and we are not specialists. We do not have experience in Middle East culture, so we didn't want to get into areas where we were not trained. So we said, well, we can do something with, we needed a lot more of learning to be able to face something of sort of to offer our support in those cases. So we said, well, we can work with Latin America because that's what we know and that's how we can ask. But then I did have a telephone call from a lady one day when I was arriving home, which was like midnight over there, and she was scolding me, telling me, "But what do you want to do with us? Why am I supposed to call you? I am working, and if I am working, I cannot be sending messages." And I said, well, wait a minute. We are not trying to impose anything on you. We're just offering that if you need something extra. And of course, it also brought to me the concept that we have about work. The fact that you have the possibility of having 5 minutes for tea and checking your messages, right? And it was very important, and we really uh, learned that we needed to know much more, and we needed to work more in deeper relation with the organization that we offer support to, because we were alone. They said, fine, go ahead. And they never answered my questions, etc. So we pushed it a little bit to see if it worked. And then we said, well, okay, just let it be. Kisses, okay, and we'll see. But we want to learn from this failure. Okay, so this is related to. So thanks, Rana, for your feedback, because it's extremely important. Anybody else, any question, any comment, anything that you would like to ask anyone in particular?
Yeah, Elilberto in Venezuela.
I just wanted to say congratulations for all that job. It's not an easy task. It's really complicated. We will find many obstacles on your way, but you are going to overcome all of them, I'm pretty sure. Thanks very much.
Thank you, dear Alberto. Anybody else here in the audience who wants to make a question or say something about this wonderful presentation here, please?
May I?
Of course. Go on, Ilka, in Ecuador.
Thank you. Well, first of all, you brought a lot on this table. And not only sharing the projects, not only sharing the background, which is, in my case, different. I used to work in a public university for 10 years, then I gave up and then went to the private sector, private universities. So from my perspective, it was very difficult to work in a public setting where all the policies were so rigid. The salary at that time was not a problem, but it was a huge, huge challenge and battle for every single beginning of semester, trying to explain traditional thinking people that you needed to update, and not only the books, but also the methodology, the approach, and including the schedule for adding up the English classes. So everything was a challenge. But I'm talking about years ago. I work there. I give up. I just got tired and frustrated of trying to change something in the public system. So I'm glad to hear about your background and all the possible activities and projects and research that you're able to do it. So hooray for that. That's one comment. Number two, maybe I will present these questions to the students who presented here, who were participants in the different projects. I'm really interested in, since I work with teaching, training, and practicum in the university that I'm still connected to, what did you learn? It's open. It's an open question, okay? So whoever wants to answer, that's fine. But I'm interested in to know, what did you learn about yourself as a professional or as a future professional going through all these experiences? Okay, so the question is on the table. Whoever wants to answer, or if you don't want to answer, that's fine.
Thank you, dear Ilka. Now back to you, dear friends from Argentina.
If I may,
Please
if
go on,
I can
Ilka.
answer to that.
Of course.
I think that I said this to Marina. Well, we talk a lot. I thank her for the opportunity of being able to participate in this kind of experiences. She has taken me to different ideas in my mind. She's always telling me, Mika, there's more than schools, there's more than classrooms, there's more spaces and we can you work on. So in my case, what I would say is this opened me. I mean, it was mind blowing, the idea of, you know what, you can work basically wherever and whenever you want in any project that you think that you can be part of, you can work on. And these opportunities have given me the chance to, what else can I do? How can I, through English, through language teaching, how can I be part of these spaces that you have never, or I have never been exposed to? I mean, it have given me ideas like when I finished the term, I said to Marina, what else can I do? I mean, how can we? I mean, how can I be part of this? I mean, I love it, and I think that as a student, it's something that I don't know if other universities have these opportunities. Run States University, I mean, not in private sector, that probably they do have projects and on, but in Run States University, I think that it gives us the opportunity to broaden our ideas and to broaden the horizons of English teaching, right? And basically, in my case, that's what happened.
Thank you.
Anybody else who has a question or a comment to make to our guest speakers this morning? Yeah.
May I present another question? Sorry, maybe
no, please don't be sorry.
Okay. Thank you, Michael. I really appreciate your comments. I said you brought a lot of on the table, and this is also probably a question to Emmanuel. Sorry to put you on the spot, but actually for me, it's the first time that I listened that it's a combination of languages at the same time. So English and French. And yes, I heard about the 3 levels, which is going to be the initial, and the other 3 levels, as a combination. And then from there, probably to be transferred or to apply scholarship. Okay. my question will be, how much demand on French language would you think you have? Maybe not comparing to English, but at the end it's comparing to English, because we have a different situation back here in Ecuador. So, Emmanuel, did you have the same amount of students, or how would you deal with that? Fewer students, more students, maybe? I don't know.
It is a difficult question, but
Sorry.
there are
I'm
just
curious.
to
I'm always
express,
curious.
yeah. This program is an extension of the English training in the college. So there are one level that is mandatory in the English training college, and then
okay.
the students can continue the studying French for 6 level more.
Mhm.
Now there are 3 students at the intermediate stage,
Mhm.
and I mean, I think it is not easy to improve the English and the French training combined.
Okay.
Avril is here, and she is a student, an excellent student, but this perspective is a prelingual perspective that makes us to try to interact in French, in Spanish, and in English. And at the end of the intermediate stage, we include in the program some elements of the teacher's training. So didactic of French, how to plan lessons in French. Obviously, this is a supervised teaching practice. Well, I don't know if I answered the question.
No, that's okay. No, I mean, you brought different elements,
Yeah.
and the reason why I make the question was that from my perspective, my experience in private universities, in these 2 universities I'm connected, it's like most of the students go for English. It's mandatory, not only for the university, for graduation in the country is a law. You have to get up to at least B1. B2 will be ideal, but I think most of the universities go for B1. But then after finishing the English, if they want very few students go for French.
Yeah.
And then there is the idea that if you're going to be a lawyer, maybe you're going to be interested in diplomacy, then you have to have some French classes. But if you're not into that field, you don't need French. It's like that. I was more curious.
Because here in Argentina, in the secondary education, French is not mandatory. So university students have a starter level, and then our projects improve, continue studying another language.
Okay. All right. So it's the same like here in Ecuador.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry. Abril is raising the hand.
Abril is waiting for.
At the
Yeah,
same
go on,
with
Abril.
Emmanuel, you hear me? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. At the beginning, it's really hard because I normally speak in English, and when I talk in French, I feel I use my pronunciation in English. So now, no, but at the beginning, yes. Actually, we have in a level 5, and we prepare for the TEFL exam. It's an international exam.
Oui.
and this. And maybe this experience studying French and English helped me to understand better the structure, the grammatical structure, the history for the language, and at the same time improved my teaching skill because I practice uh, teaching class in French and in English. So I feel more confident when I talk with the students for preparing activities or something like that.
Yeah. Thank you, dear Abril. And
If I
Edilberto?
could I
Yeah,
add just one thing to
please
round off,
do,
because
Marina.
the the fact that French, I mean, we do have a choice. We are expanding and intensifying all the project in terms of French, but what we do in French, we expect to do it in Portuguese and German as well. All right, as time comes, because the purpose, the objective is to widen. We told you that we are a young university, all right. So, but we want this plurilingual approach to be present. So, of course, French was the friendliest situation because they offered us the possibility of preparing our students to have access to one of the few scholarships that are present. And our population is not a population that is economically wealthy. So then they are not going to travel just per se. So having preparing for them to apply to a scholarship, and we all know about the Fulbright scholarship that is common for English students. There are so many people that apply for that when we identified the scholarships from the government of France, which are the pedagogic assistants, the teaching assistants, and that anybody who's teaching, who has a B1 level of education of French can apply for and may have access to work in France for a full term of classes. We said, let's prepare our students for this as well, so that we open their horizons. Okay, so a lot of things that we're doing are first, they are the first steps. Something else is that the fact that French or any other language exists in the EFL, in the TEFL diploma, is related to to training, to understanding that everything that we do in teacher education is performative. Whatever we do is going to show them what we think that they should do. And then experiencing a second language in which they are not comfortable. Exactly what Abril said, right? They know how to speak Spanish. They are confident with their English. Okay, now you are going to be a teacher in front of students who are not comfortable as you are in any of those two languages. Now you need to experience that and how you can learn. And that is the role of that segunda lengua or lengua adicional that we have in the curriculum. Okay,
That's clear.
So,
Yeah. Thank you so much, Marina. And finally, Eliberto Martinez in Venezuela. Go on.
Well, yes, I remember when I was studying at the Pedagógico de Caracas in Caracas, we had one department which is still called modern languages. Now I think it is called foreign languages, but we had both things, English and French too. And we have another department, which is Spanish department. And I remember the majority of the students were in English, right? We had a lot of English students, but few French students, but we had both, right? And I remember that it was many teachers talked different languages. They spoke different languages, right? But the majority were in English, probably because English has more opportunities around the world. You can find scholarships and things like that. So I have the same question as Irma and the same comments, but we have to go ahead to continue because all languages are important. In my case, I had obligatory, mandatory subjects like phonology, phonetics, composition, English 1, English 2, English 3, etc. But then we had elective subjects like French or Italian. I could never take Italian because my schedule was busy. and I was working too in another place. But I took French 1 and French 2. But I learned something, basic things, but I don't speak French. I would like to learn French. I would like to learn Italian because I'm an English teacher too, and Spanish, but that's great. But I would like to learn German and Mandarin, Chinese Mandarin too, but we need time to do that. And when we are old, it's like the old saying or proverb say, an old dog never learns tricks, something like that, right? But we can learn it if we study hard, if we have discipline, if we are constant, we can learn a new language any age.
Yes, that's true, dear Liberto. Thank you so much.
Liberto, you can enroll in our language center because we teach distance.
Oh, good.
So you can check the UNPAZ language center. All right, and we do have Chinese. My son has taken levels 1 and 2 of Chinese, and it's really good. And we also have Japanese, not Japanese, but we do have French, Italian, German. So contact us.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. And finally, Roxy and Rana, briefly, please, because we are running out of time. I have to do the cooking, the washing up, and everything else.
Probably Roxy, you go on because I've already spoken. So yeah, and then after you, I will take 1 minute maximum. Yeah.
Roxy.
Yeah.
Hello,
Thanks,
Roxy
Rana.
Lima.
Thanks, Jaime. Hello, everybody. First, I feel really, I've been a kind of absent previous sessions, and I congratulate myself to be here today. And I want to to express my gratitude to Marina, first of all, because she's the head of this big challenge. Okay, all of you guys, thank you, the students, that it's not that easy to be in front of a group of teachers talking and sharing your personal experience. I appreciate that. And the effort Emmanuel has done, because his second language, I understood that is French, and speaking and reading in English is not that easy. And everything that means that you guys are not only instructors, you are really professors. Marina has selected a very nice group. I can see and I feel it through the camera that all of you guys have very important values and humanistic style. That's very important. It's not just only the language that will communicate us today, but the language is just a part of this, but it's that thinking about the way of learning, thinking about the way of sharing, and having this team building is fantastic. I really, really feel very pleased to listen to these guys, because it's very easy to be there just sitting down and observing what the others are doing and not taking an action. But you guys, you're moving. And you don't have problems and you don't have failures. You just have challenges. And I want you to tell you, they're very important things, horizontal communication. And that's what I can see here. You are like a community that Marina has started, that she has created. It's a new university, okay? And then you can see the very, very nice future for you guys. Just only think about how you feel and transfer your inner feelings to the others. If you do that, you will succeed. You're very nice souls. You're thinking about people with problems, not in the case of Brisa, that she has shared that personal experience about her sister. And it's very important. That's very important to be like an open. We have a very lovely profession. We don't deal with papers. We don't deal with machines. We deal with humans. And I just wanted to close with this in my part, that I really think and appreciate that you guys, you're doing a very good job. You have big challenges in front. Just think about, if one door closes, there are hundreds of other doors ready to be opened. Just be there. Thank you, Marina, for doing that.
All right.
Thank you, dear Roxy. We miss you. We miss your comments. We miss your words, because you're always very wise and you're always very
being a little bit busier, but I'm doing my best to get back.
I know, Roxy, but when you talk, we feel like in heaven.
I like talking to your hearts, guys.
Yes,
I don't talk to the brains.
That's what I wanted to say.
I don't use my liver. I talk to the heart.
Thank you so much, dear Roxy. And
you.
finally, our good friend in England, Rana Bilal Anwar, please.
Yes, sure, man. I would like to wrap up by saying just two things. Number one, thank you so much for giving me a lot today. You know, what I mean, the project itself is wonderful, and everybody did a great job on that. You know, what I mean, so I did learn a lot as well, talking about English for diverse, and then I also understood the Argentinian public universities. They're doing wonderful, and believe me, you guys did very well. These challenges happen, but it does not mean that we stop. And I would like to wrap up by saying only one thing, because we got many new teachers who are doing this project. Look, please do not look for perfection, because no one is perfect. Just enjoy the journey, and that's all. And if you enjoy that journey, you will definitely reach your destination. That's what we are looking for. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, you too, dear Roxy and Rana, for expressing your beautiful and wonderful words that I know that come from your heart and your soul. Now it's time to say goodbye to these wonderful guest speakers today. Thank you so much, dear Marina, Maria del Valle, Carolina, Micaela, Gisela, Brisa, Abril, and our great good new friend, Emmanuel. And thank you, everybody in Facebook Live and here who are present today. Before giving you a minute to say goodbye, let me remind you. Let me see if it works. Let me remind you about our next webinar. It will be on May the 17th. At the same time, it will be led by Paola Aguilar Colombia from Universidad de la Amazonía. She and her students will be talking about connecting classrooms globally, experiences from high school students. So now I would like to listen to Maria del Valle, then Carolina, Micaela, Gisela, Brisa, Abril, Maiti, Emmanuel, and finally Marina to say a few words before finishing this wonderful webinar. Congratulations to all of you. I'm really surprised about this great job because of the impact you are doing and this great program, English for Action. So, María del Valle. María del Valle.
She
No?
may be busy because she was
Oh,
working.
okay, okay.
Sorry.
Carolina.
So hi. No, thank you for the space. I think it's very important to share our work. It's very important to Maria's here. But well, I think it's very important to have this type of events so we can share with our colleagues and our future colleagues
Yes.
our experiences. So, and it's very nice to see that you support our work.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for your time, dear Carolina. María del Valle, are you back?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
No, thank you for giving us part of your Sunday morning time. Thank you. Gisela?
Yeah, thanks for the space. Thanks for the opportunity, for your time. I really, really grateful about this. Thanks, my college. Thanks, Caro, Mari, Avi, Maria del Valle, Mica, Brisa. Thanks for this, and thanks to you, Jaime, for this opportunity. I really, really
Thank
happy
you,
about it.
dear Gisela, because we are the ones that have learned a lot and we admire you all. Micaela?
Um, I would love to thank also for the opportunity. My teachers are here, Caro, Marina, Maria del Valle. Well, they are my role models, and basically they brought me to this, to my classmates also that I'm meeting right now. Congratulations to them also. And I would like to thank especially, I think it was Rana and also Roxana, who really, really took it to this. I will take these words with me, that they appreciate the work that we've done. We are students, we are learning, but we want to learn more. And to have these opportunities to present in front of other teachers It's not easy. It's not have been easy, but it's a great chance also to well, to express ourselves, but they also the opportunity for them to know us and to know what we have been doing in our universities also. So thank you so much, and thank you, Jaime, for this space.
Thank you, dear Micaela, because we are the ones that are learning. And just when you are in front of teachers, just think that you are just in front of human beings. The same thing when you are in front of students, human beings. So that is the equality. We are all human beings learning from each one. That's our philosophy, dear Micaela. Abril?
Thank you too for the invitation and for listening all of the topics. This is an amazing experience, and I guess my first experience in an event like this. So thank you for the invitation.
I'm sure that you will have more presentations in the future, dear Abril. That is the beginning. That's the way we all started a few years, many years ago. And the one and the great star of this group, Emmanuel, congratulations, because if you say that your English is not, you're not very good at English, well, you are. You are. Thank you. Not only the language, but your ideas. So, Emmanuel,
First, thank you so much for your words, Jaime, and thank you all. Thank you everyone to share this event. Just some words to try to think languages not in isolation, but connected, no, to interconnect, no, the linguistic and the cultural repertoire. So that's all. Thank you so much for the invitation.
no, thank you, dear Emmanuel. And before Marina speaks, Rana has written in the chat his phone number. So if you ever happen to go to Brighton in England, well, you can have a cup of tea at 4 o'clock
Yes,
or five
I
o'clock with my great good friend Rana Bilal.
I am already meeting with somebody who is in our WhatsApp group tomorrow. I think his name is Leonardo. I think so. He's
Oh,
he's from
Leonardo from
Argentina. Yeah,
Argentina, I guess,
yeah,
yeah. Well,
yeah.
Leo,
So I will
Leo,
be meeting him on Wednesday, actually. Yeah. So
Leo
we're just planning to
Paladino,
meet.
yeah. Great.
right?
Well,
Yes.
Argentinians go everywhere. They are everywhere.
That's
Well,
how. So
before
thanks to you for connecting us. You know what I mean? So thanks to
no,
you,
thank
actually.
you. Thanks to you too, because without you, these webinars wouldn't exist, right? And by the way, I will send you the Marina, the link of the official video so you can share it with your colleagues and students who are present here today. Yeah, Alberto, quickly before Marina speaks.
No, I just wanted to invite you to my conversation club that I have on Fridays evening. Every evening we have a conversation club with different people from different parts of the world: Argentina, Uruguay, Mexico, Central America, South America, Europe, Asia, etc.
So
I'm writing down my phone number, my WhatsApp number on the chat.
yeah, thank you so much. That's exactly what I was going to ask you, dear Eliberto. And finally, thank you so much, Marina. I admire you a lot. Everywhere you go, you have a great impact. You were here in Piura, Peru, at our university a few years ago, and I hope that you can come back someday in the future. Dear Marina, your final words today in this webinar.
Wow. Just very few. It's thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I mean, you really have touched, and you made me feel accompanied in all these crazy things that I've been doing in the past few years. But I mean, listening, I'm having this opportunity in this moment of sharing as a collective being. I feel that nowadays I go back to my original um, words. That is, if there is anything that, or if there is something that education brings to us, is this idea of that we are not alone. There is
Yes.
lots of space for individuals and stars, etc. You, when you meet Leo, you on Wednesday, you will see a great star that we have here in Argentina. But when you get older, and I mean, I love him, and he's in a special moment for the community. But I'm in a different moment, in one in which collective is more than individual.
Right.
Whatever we do with others is far stronger because it pervades. So thank you very much for making us feel accompanied. Eliberto, please send us the link because we're going to share it with the students. This is something that people want to join in. So there is going to be lots of interest. Rana, I'm going we're going to write to you so that we can keep on working. Roxana, your words are in my heart. So thanks a lot, and thanks a lot to, if I may call you, my people, all right? Mika, Abril, Shishi. I forgot to mention how proud we were the day that you dropped by the office to show us your apron, right, to show that you had started working at school and that we were there with Caro and took a picture with you, and that's a memory I will have forever. Emma, Caro, thanks for everything, all of the time you are there. Uh, we are of the same kind, so we clash a lot, but I value every single thing that she does because she's brilliant. Emma, you rock. I mean, you are my. Saussure says that you are his favorite. Okay. Ambashe, my partner in crime, also. Annabella, well, everybody, thank you. Thank you for the space, and I hope we have been up to what you expected.
Yeah, you met our expectations, dear Marina. And if it is possible, Marina, you could send me, if they agree, Maria's, Carolina's, Micaela's, Gisela's, Brisa's, Abril's, and Emmanuel's telephone numbers, WhatsApp numbers, so we can add them, their numbers, to our WhatsApp group and be part of our community. Okay? That'll be great. Edilberto, are you in our
Perfect.
WhatsApp community?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. I normally follow you on
Facebook.
Facebook, but I would
So,
like to be.
so if you could send me your WhatsApp number to
I
add
wrote
you in the WhatsApp group, please. Well,
I wrote
thank you, everyone. Time to say goodbye. Have a great rest of Sunday. Thank you, everyone. Emmanuel, Marina, Carolina, Gisela, Gilberto, Rana, Abril, Micaela, Roxy, Rafa. Hello, Rafael in Mexico. Órale. And Luis Bermudez from Ecuador, Anabela, Dilcia, Martha, Brisa, John, Canalero, Karina Flores, MB, and all the people who listened to us and watched us in Facebook Live. Goodbye and see you in May. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Thank you. Bye bye. Bye bye.
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 See you in England someday, dear Rana, again.
You are most welcome. You're most welcome. I would be
I
happy
will
to host
visit
you.
you. I will go.
I will be happy to host you, Jaime. You
Save
don't
some
need to
money.
book anything. Stay
Save
with
some
me.
money.
Stay with me. I mean, stay with me. I will happy to host you. You know.
I'll stay with you. Bye bye, everyone. Bye bye, Roxy.
Yeah.
Don't
Bye-bye.
get lost,
Bye.
Roxy. Bye
Take
bye.
care. Bye.
Okay.
Goodbye.